Makeover Monday 2023, week 36, I believe it is. And my name is Andy Kriebel. I am here to demonstrate to you how I use Tableau to analyze the data set and come up with as many ways as I can to visualize the data before I take the solution. Sorry about that. So yeah, if you have any questions throughout the session, please leave them in the chat, both on YouTube and on LinkedIn. And if you could, let me know where you're dialing in from. I don't see too many people on yet, but maybe a couple of you will join here in a few seconds. So yeah, let me know where you're dialing in from today. Okay, so let's get started. If I flip over to, let's see, so let me just turn my screen on 1 second. That would help, wouldn't it? Okay, so let me show my screen. Okay, there we go. So that should look better now. Right, okay, so calling you from the UK, India. Hi, Andy. I don't know where hi, Andy is. India. Great, yeah, thanks for joining. Throughout this, feel free to leave feedback, any comments, questions you have. So this is the original visualization. So I think it's first important to caveat the data set itself. The data set itself is the Fortune Cloud 100, and it's simply the number of employees. So let me go back to the data set. So if I go to Makeover Monday, and I look at the data itself, so let me go down here and look at the data. It's you have to be very careful with this particular data set. So the idea behind the visualization was this bar chart here, right? So was basically over time, how many employees are there? Now, the data set in the data that was sent is for the Fortune Cloud 100, and it's simply the number of employees at those companies in 2022 and 2023, and then whether or not they had layoffs. So it's not, so the current employees, that's not the number of people that were laid off, that's the number of employees they have. So just, it's a subtle difference there, but a very, very important one as well. Okay, yeah, thanks for, keep letting me know where you're coming in from. Austin, Texas. Oh, I love Austin. One of my favorite cities. A plumbing engineer at Tesla. Great. Okay, so let's just hop into it here. So let me switch over to Tableau, and I'm going to go ahead and connect to the data set. And I always like to go ahead and rename them. All right, so over here on the bottom right, we have our preview of the data. And we can see we've got the year, the Forbes rank, the name of the company, number of employees, and valuation in billions, and then whether or not they had layoffs. Now notice that there's two rows, one for 2020, or sorry, there's, for example, for OpenAI, there's two rows, one for 2022 and one for 2023. Sorry, it's a bit hard for me to say. So it might be useful to actually pivot that data and have it go wide, but we'll only do that if we really need to. So I posted on LinkedIn this morning for to see how many visualizations I can create in about 45 minutes to an hour. So in the chat, let me know how many visualizations you think that I will be able to create in 45 minutes. Okay, hi Jen from Rhode Island. Love Rhode Island. One of my best friends is from Newport. Okay, so we got Kevin from London, Nazreen from Florida, Hoisian from Turkey. So 15 is one number. All right, 25. Matt, good challenge there. I think I can do 25 as well. All right, no other guesses. All right, so you're in Newport as well. So if you know, so Jen, you might know Parvo's Paints. I don't know if it exists anymore, but if you've been there a long time, you probably know Parvo's Paints. And that's where, that's my best friends, or one of my best friends' families. Okay, so hi Kobe from Texas, 15, 10, 10. Boy, that's shooting low. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started then. So we have our year here. I'm actually going to default this to discrete. just so we can see what it looks like. So the rank field should be a dimension because we don't want to summarize the ranks. So let's go ahead and let's see. Let's drag the company in here. And if we put the year here as well, we can then maybe look at the number of employees. Okay, and we're just comparing 2022 and 2023, and maybe I'll put year on color. And let's go ahead and adjust these colors. Actually, yeah, that's fine. I've been into some of these other color palettes recently, so I'm going to use maybe this bright color for 2023, and then maybe for 2022, I'll use like a grayish color, maybe that one there. And there we go. So we can compare 2022 to 2023. So this is bar next to bar, or maybe side by side bar. Okay, so that's visualization number one. So let's duplicate that. I could put them up here like this. That's not particularly useful, but what if I spin them around? Okay, that doesn't really tell me much either. So let me go back here and let me move year to size. And now you'll see they're stacked on top of each other, if you can see here. I want to switch these around because I want 2023 inside of 2022. And then I'm going to turn off my stack marks. So now one is inside the other. And let's sort the companies by, let's see, field. We want to do descending by, okay, so now this is where it's not really sorting properly because it's going to take the total rank across the 2 years. I don't know if we want to do that or not. So I want to sort it by the 2023 rank. So I'll show you what I'm going to do here in a table. So I've got the year, I've got the rank, and I have the company. Let me do it like this: the company, the year, and the rank. Okay. So, but I want to have a column that is the 2023 rank. So I'm going to create a new calculated field. Oh, and it switched screens on me. There we go. And I'm going to call this one my, well, we'll start with 2022. So let's just call it rank 2022. And I'm going to say for each, actually, let me do it without the fixed first. So I could say like if the year is equal to 2022, then rank, the Forbes rank, and something like that. So if I'm just going to hit apply, and I'm going to drag that into the, I want to make that a dimension, and let's put that here. And notice we get the rank, and then we get a null. But I want the rank to show up on both rows. So to do that, I'm going to make this a level of detail expression. So this is one of the few use cases where you could use an exclude. So I could say something like exclude year, and then I could do any kind of aggregation here. It doesn't really matter. So why don't I just do min? And if I hit apply, okay, so then okay, so it's now, let's see. All right, and then make this discrete. But see, this is kind of a pain, right? Okay, and that didn't work anyway. So I'm going to make this a fixed level of detail expression. So I'm going to say fixed on the company. And then we need to do a colon and then our calculation, right? So this is saying for each company, if the year is 2022, then bring back the rank. So let's again make that a dimension and drag that here. And you'll notice now I get the same number in both years, right? So that's what I want. I'm basically telling it to ignore the year column. So let's duplicate that and edit. And let's call this rank 2023. And all I need to do is change the year. Okay, so if I put that here as well, then we can see the ranks of now. If I take the year off the view and take the Forbes rank off, I can compare the ranks between the two companies. Okay, so why set years to discrete rather than continuous to separate them? So Maria, they're dimensions, so they're going to be separated anyway. I converted the year to discrete so that by default it would be discrete because I want to have them as separate items, I want them as individual items, not on a scale. So that's kind of what I wanted by default. Did I have to do that? No, I just wanted to do that. Okay, so now what I could do is back over here on my side-by-side bar, I'm going to actually sort this now by the field, rank 2023 ascending, because we want the lowest ones first. And so now the problem is we have a bunch of nulls, right? There's no, if I put the ranks onto the detail, you'll see there's no rank for 2023. So the nulls get put up at the top. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's try something here. So I'm going to say if then Forbes rank null. And I think I could say something like if null, oops, inful, if null. So that means if the expression is null. So let me open up this so you can see what it does. So the if null expression, it returns expression 1. Oh, my phone is running out of battery here. Let's see. So it returns returns expression 1 if it is not null. Otherwise, it returns expression 2. Okay. So if it's not null, then I want it to return the Forbes rank. Otherwise, I'm going to return 101 because I know there's 100 companies. I want it to be 101st. And then I need another bracket. So now those should get sorted to the bottom. Okay, there we go. So those get, but something still doesn't look right. So sort. This should be a min, but it still doesn't look right. I would expect it to be sorted by the red bars. So rank 1, rank 2. Oh, but this is the number of employees, not the rank. Sorry, that's stupid. Yeah. So what I should probably do is put the 2023 rank here like that. Yeah, something like that. That makes more sense. Okay, so that's 2. So let's call this one bar in bar. And we did a table, so I'm going to count this. So table, that's 3. A table's visualization. Okay, so now we could look at, let's say we want to compare the ranks. So let's drag the year field to the columns and the Forbes rank to the rows, but I'm going to make this a dimension. There we go. And let's drag the company now onto detail and make it a line. And now we get a slope graph. Okay, so this is an example. Let's see. So we need this axis to be upside down because we want number 1 at the top. So let's do reversed. Okay, and we get something like that. Now notice how like OpenAI only has 1 dot. That's because it didn't have any data for the previous year. So if I look at, scroll down here to OpenAI, you'll see it's null here. So now what I can do is I can create a calculated field, and let's say, let's call it, let's see, rank improved. And this is going to be my 2023 rank is greater than my 2022 rank. Click on that, and let's drag that to the color. And now we get 2 colors, right? So we've got the true, the false, and then the nulls are those that only had a rank for 1 of the years. So let's see. Let's set the nulls to maybe a grayish color. Or actually, I'll just go into my color palettes here. So we want an increased rank. We want to make that color, and then the false is what did I use here? I used the Eagles. It's almost NFL season, so we're going to use the Eagles. Okay, and then I'm going to move the trues to the front by rearranging them. So now we can see those. Oh, I see. I've got this backwards. Sorry. An improved rank should be the other way around. So if the rank is less, then it's actually improved. There we go. So that's better. So these are all the companies that had an improved rank. So this is a, why am I drawing a blank on the name of this? Slope graph. Actually, really just a line chart. Okay, so now let's look at this then. I'm going to cheat a bit here. And I'm just going to duplicate this sheet and make this continuous. And again, we still have a slope graph, but now we have a scale at the bottom. So Maria, that's the difference between the discrete and the continuous there. So let's edit this axis. And we can leave it like that for now. I could shrink it up. Let me just grab the edge and make it a bit smaller. So we could do something like that. And then what I like to do when it's continuous is I'm going to, let's see, so I could do, let's format the view and let's put maybe, I'm going to turn my grid lines off and my zero lines off and my axis rulers off. Okay, so we got that. But I want to have vertical grid lines. So I'm going to go over my grid lines here and set this something like that, maybe a bit darker. But I've got an issue where we've got these numbers on the outside here. Or sorry, because Tableau is displaying 4 years, even though I only have 2. So what I would do then is we actually need this year field to be a decimal number. So I'm going to change that. And notice how everything zooms in now. So I can now edit my axis. And I'm going to start it at 2021.5. And I'm going to go to 2023.5. And then on my tick marks, I want them to be fixed every one. Or no, sorry, the origin is 2021 or 2022. And then tick interval every one, right? So there we go. So now we've got those nice little lines in the background. So by making the year field an integer, I can then zoom it in. I can then change my axis to be like half numbers. Whereas if it's a whole number, if I switch it back to a whole number, notice how I can't get 21.5 for a year. But I probably also should set the default number format for my year. So let's make it 0 decimals and get rid of the comma. Okay, so now we got something like that. So this is our slope graph continuous. Okay, so let's go back then to, let's say, the company. We again want to sort by the field, descending, no, ascending, 2023 rank. Okay, something like that. And I want to put my rank 2023 here and make it continuous. And let's make it a bar. And then I'm going to have my, actually, let's do, this isn't going to look very good. Let's do the, we could, so this is just showing the rank. So let me duplicate this. And if I do this as number of employees, what does that look like instead? Okay, so quite different. Never heard of some of these companies. Yardi, I never heard of Stripe. Databricks. Okay, so that's just the number of employees. So something slightly different. Okay, so actually what I want to look at here is I want to look at the number of employees for 2022 and 2023. So let me just duplicate one of these. And I'm going to call this employees 2022. Fixed on company, if year equals 2022, then current employees. And we want that one to be a measure. And then let's duplicate that, edit, and make this 2023, and then 3. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a couple different views with this. So that's the number of employees. 2022, I'm going to put on the detail shelf, and I'm going to add a, I'm going to add a reference line for each cell, so for each bar, and that's going to be my 2022 employees. And let's make this nice and dark. That should be pretty good. Turn off the recalculate and hit OK. So now we can see whether the number of employees was increased or decreased. So maybe this actually, this might make more sense if we sorted by 2023 employees descending. Yeah, like that. There we go. Okay, and now that I have that, I could compare the two values. So let's say more employees. So here I would say employees 2023 is greater than employees 2022. And if I drag that onto the color shelf, we get two colors again, true or false. So let's switch over to our colors. Maybe I should do red typically implies bad, so I'm going to choose something else. Where did all those color palettes go? Let's try this one. So let's do true is something like that. And then the false and the null, we will make that. Okay, so we get something like that instead. So this tells us which had more, or actually, maybe we could make the false one of those reddish colors. Maybe something like that. It's going to be really bright, isn't it? It's not too bad. It's not awful. It's not great, but it's not awful. Okay, there we go. So now we can see which ones have improved, or sorry, which ones had more employees in 2023 versus less. So this is bar with reference line. Okay, so let's duplicate the sheet. This time, let's take, let's move that on top of this, make it a circle, and drag measure names to detail. Right, so this is just a dot plot, but I want to duplicate this field. And let's change this mark type to a line and move measure names to the path shelf. And now we can make it a dual axis and synchronize. And let's move the dots to the front. And then on the lines, I could make these dashed or dotted or kind of however I like. So that looks pretty good. So this is our barbell. Okay. Would you add company details to the web? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Maria. All right. So that is our barbell chart. We could also, let's say we wanted to look at, I don't think this is going to look very good, but let's give it a try anyway. Let's put year here and current employees on detail. Nope, here. And I want to have this as a circle. And let's put the company on detail. And now if we make that a bit bigger, we get kind of like a dot plot, but I'm going to jitter this. I'm going to use the random function. And I want to take an average of that. So the random function just gives me a value between 0 and 1. So now if I shrink this up, something like that, we can now we can hide that header. And we see some jittering going on there. So let's put the year on color so we can see the difference. Why did my years not change? Okay, so default properties, color. I thought I had done this already. Let's make that one blue, and let's make, where'd it go? Watermelon. Let's make this one that pinkish color. Okay, so 2023 versus 2022. Okay, where can we get the data? Makeover Monday website, makeovermonday.co.uk/data. All right, so now that we have that, I would probably also maybe throw an average line on here for each of the, or no, probably a median actually. So let's put a median on each pane. And I want to make this the median. Okay, this actually should be for each cell, sorry. And so it looks like we've got the same value. That can't be right. Okay, so the median is 1,000. Okay, that's not very helpful then. Okay, so that doesn't tell me a whole lot. That's all right. So let's call this our jitter plot. We could also do something similar and make it like a barcode chart. So I'll make this a Gantt bar, put the company on detail, and then current employees on columns. And now we get a, oops, didn't mean to do that. I meant to go in between the rows. So this is called a, let's put year on color again. And then if we drop the opacity, we should be able to see through a bit more, right? So this is called a barcode chart. All right, let's see, we could do a scatter plot. So let's look at 2023 versus 2022 and by company. All right, and then we could maybe put the rank onto size. Let's see if that does anything. So this is the same company twice. Yeah, that's not a good idea. Maybe we could put the 2023 rank on size. Circle, does that add any? No, that doesn't do anything. How about let's do the 2023 valuations. Let me duplicate this. Excuse me. Okay, and, oops. And this is in billions. So let me just drag that here. And then I'm going to multiply it by 1 billion. So let's see. Well, actually, I can just leave it like that. 2023, let's put that on size. Okay, so valuation is 40.00. Okay, so let's set the default number format here to be 1 decimal. And I'm just going to put a B in the suffix for billions. And, oh, I formatted the wrong number. So let's make this a custom number with a B at the end. And there we go. So 50 billion. Okay, so this is our scatter plot. Okay, that's good, Kobe. I'm glad you learned something new. Okay, so that's a scatter plot. We could then maybe put, where was that other field? More employees onto color. There we go. So this is nice. Oh, this is a good use case for a 45-degree reference line. So let me put that here. And then on this one, I want to get rid of that, and I want to get rid of that. And then I'm going to put on a reference line for, I think it's this one. No, not a reference line, a trend line. So we do a linear trend line on the 2023. There we go. Okay, and I'll show you what this is going to do in a second. So let's shrink these all the way down and make a opaque. And now if I make this a dual axis and synchronize, you'll see we get a perfect 45-degree line, and that separates the red and the blue. So if I format this line, let's make it, where's trend lines? Oh, I can't change, oh, sheet. Let's make it maybe a dotted line. Let's do it maybe like that and make it thin. Anyway, you can play around with the different colors. Right, so this is a nice little 45-degree reference line. So it's just another way to visually see whether the number of employees is above or below the previous year. And then we want to hide that indicator. So that looks pretty neat. Okay, so we've got that. I'm now on sheet 12. What else could I do? I'm going to cheat, but that's okay. You don't know I'm cheating because I'm looking on a different screen. Come on. All right, so I'm just going to look for some ideas here. So we did a bar against a bar. Oh, we could do some kind of like variance maybe. So let's look at I could just say employees minus that, and let's just hit OK. And now if we put that into the columns, now let's put that in the rows, and the company in the columns, we could sort that descending. So this just tells us which companies have grown the most, right? So in the Forbes 100, the one that lost the most was Stripe. And then some of these are null because they don't have a value for the previous year. So what I should do here then is, well, no, it's not that they didn't have employees the previous year. It's because they weren't in the top 100 the previous year. So I probably should maybe filter those out. Let's leave it like that for now. So this is just a variance bar. Let's duplicate that. And then I'm going to duplicate this field, make the second one a circle, and make the first one thinner. And let's make this a dual axis and synchronize. And the first one, we want this to be a line. There we go. So now we've got a lollipop chart. And let's put the, where's my more employees? There we go, on color. And now we can see which ones increased or decreased. So this is a little lollipop. All right, let's keep going. So let's look at the company and let's put the employees 2023, employees 2022, move measure names to, let's maybe put that on color, but my 2022 employees, I'm just going to put a minus in the front of that to make it go the other direction. And then let's sort the company. Let's say by the field descending 2023 employees. Okay. No, is that right? No, that's the rank. Employees 2023. There we go. Okay, so this is kind of like a butterfly chart. Not a very good one, but good to try. And then another way we could do that same butterfly chart is, and if those of you, if you subscribe to my newsletter and you watch the video I sent this week, a lot of this should look familiar because it's pretty much the same thing I did in that video. Let's make it a dual axis this time and synchronize. We want them both to be bars. But again, I want my 2022 to go backwards. Okay, so now this is another way to do a butterfly chart. Now notice some of the numbers are negative. So what I would do then, let me go back over here first. And I've got my negatives for these employees 2022. So first off, I'm just going to drag this over and save it. So I'll call this employees 2022. And I'll put a minus sign after the end so I know it's the negative one. And I always want these values to be positive for those three. So let's set the default number format. We know we want it to be a number, but we need to format our negative to be, we're never going to have negative employees for each year. So we're going to custom, and I'm going to just remove the minus sign after the semicolon. So now when you hover over, you see they're all positive numbers, but my axis still has negatives. So I need to format measure values and do the same thing. So number custom, 0 decimals, choose custom, and then get rid of the negative. And there we go. So now we see all positive numbers everywhere we look. So that's the butterfly. So this one, let's put employees negative here. Okay, and now everything should look okay. So let's sort by the field descending employees 2023. There we go. Okay, so that's our butterfly dual axis. If you are subscribed to my newsletter, give me a little thumbs up in the chat because I'm curious to know how many of you are subscribed, because if you are, you would have seen and you watch the video. So if you're subscribed, leave a thumb. If you are subscribed but you didn't watch the video, maybe just leave a clap or something like that. So let's see what let's see who actually has watched the videos. Okay, So thumbs, that's good. Okay, so what else? So this should look familiar to you, Jen, Kevin, hopefully. So let's go back to, so we had our barbell chart. So let's duplicate that. And on my line, I'm going to change the line type back to a straight line, but I'm going to make it bigger. And this is going to go, eventually, it'll go around the other ones. So let's get rid of more employees on color. Let's reduce the size just a touch. There we go. Let's maybe make it a light gray. Maybe not quite so light. And then on my circles, I like to put little white lines around them. Okay, so this is a enclosed. All right. So could we do some sort of heat map? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think there's a heat map we could do. We could look at the value. We could compare the valuations. So let's duplicate this. Let's make this 2022. And let's see. So we could look at the valuations. And let's make this a line and drag the company onto detail. Oh, wow, look at that. Stripe went way down in 2023. Okay, so then I want to have, let's duplicate this. Let's call this higher valuation. And we want to have valuation 2023 compared to 2022 and hit OK. Let's drag that onto color. And again, let's make the true. So we want to focus on the ones that have a higher valuation. So let's go to our blues and pick true. I think I chose that color. And I'm just going to make the other ones the grayish color. So let's make that gray. Let's make both of these. Actually, let's make the ones that only have 1 year a darker gray. Okay, so we get something like that. So this is our valuation. So that's not very good for Stripe. So let's call this our valuation slope graph. All right, so we could then also look at, if we take, let's see. Okay, I think I have an idea. So let's put the company on here again. And I want to take the 2022 employees. I'm going to make this a Gantt bar. And I'm going to put the difference onto size. So now this should, let me put both, so this is 2023. Let's put this here on detail. Okay, let me look at a bigger number here. So this one is 3640, 3100. Okay, so this is an increase. So let's say more employees on color. And there we go. So we get something like that. So we could then maybe, let's sort these by the difference. So let's choose field, descending, and let's do employees like that. No, that's not very good, is it? This gives us the, so this is sorted basically by the length of the bar. Okay, so that's not very good, is it? So let's sort again by maybe employees 2023. Okay, there we go. So this is a floating bar chart. And we could probably do the same thing with the valuation. So let's put valuation 2023 on, no, on tooltip. 22 goes on that. And then I need to, let's see, let's call this valuation change. 2023 minus 2022. We want to put that on size. And then higher valuation onto color. Okay, so, and we want the, yeah, so let's make this one red. All right, and now this one we probably should sort by the valuation 2023. Okay, so some of these don't have, okay, so they have the same valuation, so that doesn't tell us a whole lot, does it? That's okay. So that's just another example of a floating bar chart. Let's do, let's see, I'm going to try to do a seismogram. So let's look at the company. And I need to take, let's look at maybe the number of employees. So let's call this employees 2023 1/2. I'm just going to call it 1/2. So employees 2023 times 0.5. That gives me half of the employees. And then I want to duplicate that. And I'm going to call this 1/2 minus, and put a minus sign in front. Now, if I make that a combined axis view, and I make it a line, I'm going to drag measure names to path, and we get what's called a seismogram. So if I sort this by 2023 descending employees 2023. There we go. So we get something called a seismogram. So let me see if I can fit this in the entire view. Right. So the seismogram basically has the bars. It's the, half of it goes one way, half of it goes the other way. So that's the idea behind that. We could clear the sort and just have it go alphabetical, and that looks kind of neat. So this is our seismogram. So if we're not quite 45 minutes in, we're about 40 minutes in, and I'm at, how many sheets is that now? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, I'm at 20. So are we going to get to 25? So whoever said 15 is wrong. Okay. So what else could we do? We did that. I'm trying to think what else we could do. I'm almost out of ideas here. Let's see. So let me do something here then. Let me go here, and I'm going to try to get some ideas here on maybe some other chart ideas. So we did that. Maybe a bullet graph. Let's try a bullet graph. So for a bullet graph, I'm going to pick the, let's again stick with the employees. And it was going to show me for a bullet graph for some reason. And what's it? Okay, so that's good. So let's get rid of that. And then what I want to do though is for my, I want to look at this as a percentage. So let me go back over to Chrome. Where'd that go? Yeah, so that looks something kind of like what we're trying to do here, right? Yeah, but it doesn't look great. So let's call this a bullet graph. One way that we could maybe do this differently is if I have, okay, let me just try to build something here. If I put a value at 1, No, I don't even need to do that. I want to look at the percent change in the employees. So let's duplicate this field. So just call this percent. And then this is going to be the sum of my employees divided by the sum of employees 2022. Okay, so this is going to give me a percentage. This is going to be like the percent change. Okay, let's put employees 2022, employees 2023. And I put these things on the detail shelf just so I can make sure that they're calculating properly, right? So that's correct. Okay. So what I want to do now is I want to add a reference line here. I want to do a distribution. I want to have it probably for the entire table. And I want to have it as percentage of a constant. My constant is 1. And let's say we want to go 50, 75, 100, 125, 150. Let's just do that. Okay, and then fill above, fill below. Okay, and then the line, we don't want a line. And then I want to add on a reference line, so constant line at 1. Let's edit that line. So what this is showing me now is, so this is, that's not right. That's not what I was trying to do. Yeah, this is 136% change, but that's not what I wanted to do. Is it what I wanted to do? No, that's not what I wanted to do. 52% change, so 52% increase, but that's good. Okay, this didn't quite work out the way I was hoping, so let's go on past that. Okay. Let's see, where else? Any other comments so far? Looking good. I must be doing okay. Not too many comments today. Okay. Oh, okay. I have an idea. Let's say that we have the company. We have the employees, 2023. And I have, let's see, more employees here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to edit the alias for more employees. And I'm going to go to my emoji keyboard and put in a circle. And then my false, I'm going to just make a space. And then my null, I'm going to make a space. Okay, you'll see why. Let's make it 2 spaces. Right, so let me hide the headers. Do I want to do that? No, I want to do this the other way around. So let me undo. Okay, so my true, I want to have as a blank. My null, I want to have as a blank. And my false, I want to make a dot. Okay, there we go. So let's hide the field labels. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to format this. I'm going to center it. And I'm going to make it maybe my, oh, I don't know what my red color is. Let's just make it red. And this shows me the companies that had a decrease versus the prior year. So just a little dot as an indicator. So I think I'd like that. So this again is where it's sort of an alternative to, let's see. Oh, what happened here? The sort, oh, okay. Oh, the sort's invalid, sort. Okay, I don't know what happened there. There we go. Okay, anyway, so where is it? What am I looking for here? So this one here, it's kind of the same idea as this one, except we're using a little indicator on the end instead of a reference line. So I could put employees 2022 on detail and bring on a reference line for each cell. That is my 2022. And let's maybe make that a dark black line and get rid of that. Hit OK. And then I could probably just make these bars maybe like a light gray. And now my indicator, let's make the bars a bit thinner. And now I have that indicator instead of the instead of coloring the bars, I'm using that little indicator on to the left of the bars. So let's turn these off. Turn that off. And get rid of my row and column dividers. Okay, so something like that. I would probably also maybe right align these so they're next to the dots. Yeah, so something like that. I think that one looks pretty good. Does anybody have a favorite so far? How about a side-by-side bar showing employees and changing them? Okay, so I think I know what you're talking about, Jen. So this is a bar with indicator. Oh, and now my computer is low on battery. So one moment, please. I just got to find the plug. Uh-oh. Okay, should be okay. Okay, there we go. So side-by-side bar. Okay, so I think I know what you're talking about, Jen. So let's do company, employees 2023, descending, employees 2022, like that. And then I want to have, I think, Jen, you're saying to have another bar. Let's switch the order of those around. I think you're saying to have a third bar. That's the difference between the two. I'm pretty sure that's what you're saying. So to do that, I'm going to need to, I've already got my, let's see. So I'm just going to duplicate this field and put it here. And then this one, I am going to make a Gantt bar. And the size of that is going to be the employees. And now if I dual axis these and synchronize, let's make this a bar. And then this one, let's make this thin, something like that. So then what we could do here is we could, on the Gantt bar, I could put more employees on color. and then maybe 2022 and 23. So we're using the watermelon for 2022, and then for 2023, we're using water. Oops. Okay, something like that. So this tells us which one is bigger. We could now I can edit this alias and make this 2023. Edit this alias, call it 2022. And then edit this alias and call it, what do I want to call this one? Change. Something like that. So now I've got this kind of look there. I think this is kind of what you're saying, Jen. You just need 2022, just the giant bar. So I could do, so this is a side by side with variance. So we could duplicate this. And if I take 2022 off, okay, that didn't work then, did it? Oh, that's because measure names came off of the rows. So let's put that back. We could do something like that, but I don't think that looks as good. Yeah, I don't like that one as much. Yeah. So I would probably, yeah, I think I like the other one better. All right, so let's see what other options. So my phone has 10% battery remaining. It is plugged in though, so let's just hope that it holds up here. What else can we do? Histogram doesn't make sense. Line graph doesn't make sense. Population pyramid we've kind of done. Okay, so let's go back to, and if you want a copy of all of my bookmarks, it is out on my Gumroad page. So if you go to andykrebo.com and click on the little Gumroad link, you can go, where is it here? Go to this data analysis bookmarks bundle and you can purchase a copy of it there. So that would be grateful if you supported the things I'm doing here. Okay, so what else? So that's every list there. Okay, so let me go back then. Data viz, design, right, chart chooser. I think this link is dead. No. Okay, so let's see. So we've done the scatter plot. Candlestick. Trying to think if there's anything else that might be useful. A tape diagram, never heard of that. Is there anything else? If anybody else has any ideas, I'm all ears there. Okay, so now what I need to do now is I need to pick a winner. So so I did 25. Hopefully that's enough. I think somebody said 25. And let's see. So which one do I like best? I really like the barbell. I think that looks pretty cool with the dashed lines, but didn't I do a barbell last week? I think I did a barbell last week. Let me see. Oh no, I did a line chart last week. There is this one too, which is really nice. Okay, so we've got that. I kind of like this one. But I wonder if there's a way. I've seen somebody do it where they show something like this, but they show kind of like a line going from, go back here. I've seen it where they do almost like a line that goes from here to here, but I'm not quite sure how they would do that. So, oh, look at that. More employees. Oh, so they didn't have, no, that's okay. Yeah. Why is the dot so small? Oh, it's because it's by valuation. It has no valuation for 2023. Okay. So it might be good to maybe take that size off of there. And maybe make the circles a bit bigger. Maybe something like that. So it's kind of boring. I'm trying to think of the chart that I've seen somebody do like that. Let's see, is it under? Oh, let's see. I'm going to go back here. Okay, it's none of those. You could do a comet chart. Let's see. This is a nice long list of charts. Lollipop. I know exactly what I'm looking for if I can find it. It's kind of like this. But I want it to be on a scatter plot. How do I do that? Let me see. I'm going to try to draw it out and see if it. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Okay, so let me see here. I want to try to draw. See if I can. Come on. Let's see. So it's kind of, oh, no, not this. Okay, so let's take this scatter plot here. And what I want to do, so let's say that I have a line here. So this line is going like this. It's kind of like let's put it here. Something like that. And what I want to do is I want to have basically like a line that goes from here to here. And then a line that goes from, let's say, like here to here. Another one that goes maybe from here to here. And so on. So every mark has a dot that goes out to the side. So something like that. Like that. But I don't know how I would do that. So if can I do a comet chart? Let me do a comet chart while we're thinking of this. So that would be, I would say I'll take 22 employees, 23 employees. And we're going to move that to size and make it a line. And then the measure names also goes on path. So that's how you do a comet chart. And then I could, let's say, more employees goes on color. Something like that. So that'd be your tadpole chart. Oh, I completely forgot how we have this had layoffs option. How did I forget about that? Where's my scatter plot? So let's put had layoffs onto if I put it onto size. No, that's not very good. Maybe let's make it a shape. Put head layoffs on shape. But now it's duplicating the values because, yeah, so that doesn't work in this case. Okay. Well, the other option is to not create a final visualization and just have like a little catalog as what I did this week. Yeah, so what does this sort by? Sort. Come on, we want to do by field. Descending employees 2023. Here we go. So something like that. You could also do it with let's see. So we could use value. What's this one here? This is 2022. Okay, so the valuation 2022 versus valuation 2023. I could do like that as well. I don't think that looks as good though. So this one doesn't look bad. So this is our Comet chart. This one is blank, so let's delete that. Okay. So I don't really have one that I am in love with this week. This one's pretty good. The problem is there's just so many companies. And I still haven't taken into account whether or not there's layoffs. Now, maybe I should be. I don't know if probably should be, but I had completely forgotten about it. I don't see what, I guess the reason I didn't think about using it, at least in my head, is that I don't see where it adds much value because we don't know the number of people that were laid off. So I think that's just going to confuse people if I do that. Let's just build out a table here just for fun. There we go, something like that. There we go. Okay. So how many charts do I have here? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25, 27. So 20, how does 27 divide up nicely? 6 and 6 is 4 6s is 24. How many did I say? 20. No, I forgot how many I said. 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25, 27. So what I could do is, okay, so what I'm going to try to do now, and I'll just kind of show you this in a grid layout here. I would really love to be able to create this chart because I think that would be useful. I don't really want to give up on it though either. This is our so this is subatomic variance. This is 2023 variance. So if I go back to my, where is it? Okay, so let me just get rid of my trend line for now. And here, if I make these, let's just get rid of the opacity. Okay, let me just make these nice and small. because ideally I want to be able to take that stripe. I want to take this and connect it to that. No, that's not what I want, is it? Because this dot is 8,000. That's my 2022. So Jen, I could show the difference. So for those of you that are on LinkedIn, Jen Snyder said, could you just show companies with layoffs to see the difference in employee count? I could, but we can't make the assumption that the difference in employees is because of layoffs. So I think that could easily be misinterpreted that it could be where some people just left. It doesn't necessarily mean layoffs. So I'm going to kind of avoid that option. Okay, so what I want to do is connect that to that somehow. How in the world do I do that? Okay, let me, since this one, right? Okay, so let me get rid of that. And instead, I'm going to duplicate it that way. Okay, yeah, this is what I want. So I want this dot to go here. Is this 2 dots or 1? Okay, that's fine. So I want it to go here, and I want it to go here. So how do I now connect? Okay. Okay. Let's try this. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, that worked. Okay, good. I'm glad I figured it out. But actually, I want to flip this because I want it to go up or down. So I want this to be an increase. Yeah. Yeah. So I want it to go up and down, not. Yeah. So I think that's good. So on this one, I'm going to put my. Let's see if I do it like that. There we go. So now I've got little dots as well. Okay. And now I could maybe put my trend line back on here. And then let's edit the trend line. No, that's not what I want. Is that right? So it doesn't quite go through the dots, does it? Okay, so I don't think my trend line is going to work this time. But anyway, I got this chart figured out, which I think is good. Okay, where do you get the data from? So Francisco, if you go to makeovermonday.co.uk/ so let me just type it in here, Marco, for you, or Francisco, makeover. There's the link for you, Francisco. Right. So I think that's okay. So I think this is called a tadpole chart. And then let's say that, do I only want to look at, what if I just look at maybe the top 10? What does it look like? Yes, that doesn't tell me anything. Okay, so I need to pick a chart to use as my final viz. Oops. I just locked myself out. All right. So I still don't have a favorite. I don't know. I think I like the bar chart with the indicator. I do like the tadpole chart, but it's too hard. I think it's just a bit too messy. The lollipop, I think, looks good. The seismogram, I like. Tadpole, or the comet chart, I like. Bar chart with indicator and comet chart. Yeah, I think the comet chart looks pretty cool. And then the bar with indicator, like that. That one looks pretty good too, I think. Yeah. So I mean, what I could do if I'm kind of undecided is, let me go back again. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 23, 25, 27, 29. So I've got 30. So if I did like a 5x6 grid on a dashboard. Okay, so what I want to do, if I come back over here, I'm glad I got that figured out. I'm quite proud of myself for that. So I'm going to draw a dashboard. So this is going to be my dashboard. I don't want rounded edges. And I'm going to now have so I'm going to have 6 across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So something like that. And then I'll have this repeated 5 times. Right, so something like that. So I could lay it out in a nice little grid for you if you'd like. So each of these would be a chart. Could do something like that. I don't know if that would be helpful. Thanks. Thought it was just me. Oh, did I forget to share my screen? Sorry. It looks like because I locked my computer by accident. Sorry. Let me fix that. Nope, wrong link window. Oh, sorry about that. So let me share. Oh, everything appears to be frozen. Well, I don't know what happened. Okay, so can you still hear me on the live stream? Hopefully you can still hear me. Let me just type a message in here. There's something running on my computer that's like sucking the life out of my computer. Come on. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Is that any better? The whole thing seems pretty stuck at the moment. Let me see. Okay, well, can you let me know if you can hear me again, please? Can you hear me again? Hopefully. Okay, I think they share a screen. Hear and see you, but not screen. Okay, great. Okay, I think because my camera was dying, I think that's what was causing problems. Okay, so let me share my screen again. We want to share that screen. And then show. There we go. Okay, we should be back in business now. I hope. Okay, should be back. Great. So I think what I'm going to do here. So if I were going to lay this out in a dashboard, this is actually a really good lesson on containers, I think. So this outside, let's just make that one orange. So this is going to be one container around the outside. And then each of these is going to be a container, right? So I'm going to have a container here. Let's make that one blue and then copy paste. And then this one is going to be, I'm just going to make them all different colors. Let's maybe make this one green. And then, oops. Anyway, so each of these kind of going down will be its own container. So I'll show you how I would lay that out. So if I go to a new dashboard, okay, so you should be okay seeing me now, fortunately. I don't know why I can't. Right. But you can, okay, there we go. Okay, so you can see the screen. All right. So I'm gonna go to my new dashboard, and I'm gonna get rid of the phone layout. Oh, by the way, I saw this new option up here, add phone layouts to new dashboards. So I think if you uncheck that and you build a new dashboard, it doesn't, oops, I want to do a new dashboard. It doesn't automatically put that phone layout there, which is nice. Now, I don't know if that holds across browsers or not, but we'll see. So I'm going to start by floating in a vertical container, and I'm going to set the X and the Y to 0, 0, and 1000 by 800. Oh, I got to see. I think I've got a meeting in a minute here. Just give me 1 second. Let's see. Today. Oh, no, it's okay. I've got a little bit more time. So yeah, then I'm going to drop a blank object into here just to be kind of a placeholder. So, and then actually, no, I don't want to do that yet. I'm going to go back here. No, it's okay. I'll do that. So I'm just going to grab a blank, and I'm going to give it a background color just so I can kind of see where it is. Okay, and now I'm going to add in my 5 horizontal containers. So let's drag one in there. And again, I'm going to just drag in a blank. And let's make this one, let's make this one a different color. Let's make it, I don't know, that color. And then I'm going to drag in a second one and put a blank inside of that. And again, these blanks are they're just there to serve as placeholders to make it easier to drop things. And let's go to a third one, horizontal. Put a blank in there. I know this is very, very tedious, but I think it's a good lesson for you to learn. Okay, that's 3, that's 4, and let's put a blank in there and format. Let's make this one, was it purple? Yep. And then let's go one more. And now this time I'll just grab this one and stick it in there. Okay, so now I have all those. I'm going to now highlight that and then highlight that to get that outside container. And I'm going to distribute them evenly. All right, so we get something like that. Now, each of these containers, I want to have the same amount of space around them. So I'm going to go to the first one. They all have 4 pixels. So I want them all to have like 10. Okay, so if I put 10 around each of these, just do this. Actually, I think I want to do inner padding actually. No, it's okay. I can leave it like that. All right, so then it looks pretty good. Now the problem now is in between them. So kind of, so sort of like this space in here is actually 20 pixels, not 10. So if you compare that to this space here on the side, it's twice as wide. So what I would do then is on this one, I would make the top 5, and then this one make the bottom and the top 5. So I would go here, top 5, bottom 5, top 5, bottom 5, and then just keep going. Again, I'm trying to just get it to all look exactly the same as I go around. Oops. Have to turn off all sides equal. Now this one, the top needs to be 10 and the bottom needs to be 5. So the top and the bottom are like ever so slightly bigger, but that shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so now I'm just going to start dropping in these sheets. So let's put that one in there and then put that one in there. So I'm going to want a text here on the upper left. So this is my title. And we're going to have, I think I said 6 going across. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and now I can get rid of the blank. And then each of these, I now want to make this distribute evenly. Okay, and then I would repeat that with the second row. 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. Let's get rid of that. And 6. And then select the container and distribute contents evenly. So now what I probably should do is just go here, select the container, and distribute evenly. So I should have probably just done that from the beginning. Oops, didn't want to do that. And then this needs to be, and we'll get rid of all this junk at the bottom later on. The problem now is this looks pretty terrible, right? Because the graphs are all, they don't fit and stuff. But that's how I would lay out the dashboard. So I'm not going to keep doing that because I don't like the look of it. So I think in the end, let's go with maybe the Comet chart. And so let's do a bit of cleanup now. So in the tooltip, I want to put both my number of employees, and I want to do the variance, something like that. Okay, and then the percentage should be formatted as a percentage to 1 decimal. So 33.5%. Okay, now instead of saying 37.5, I wanted to say plus 37.5. So let's change the number format, go to custom, and I'm going to make this plus 0.0%, semicolon minus 0.0%. Okay, now we can see it says positive number. The more employee fields does not need to be in the tooltip. Okay, so let's now clean up the tooltip. Came over on my other screen. So company is fine. Get rid of measure names. Let's call this just change. Okay, there we go. So something simple like that. Maybe I'll make the title of the company bigger. Okay, let me go in here. Okay, yeah, something like that. So I think that's okay. So let's edit the axis, and we can get rid of the title. And then let's hide this here. And I think I'm going to have to leave the grid lines, but I want to get rid of, so format. I want to get rid of my axis rulers and get rid of my 0 line. Okay, there we go. And then some of these don't have values, which makes sense because they don't have. So these ones that are just dots only have values for 1 year. So you can see it has Airwallex has employees for 2022, but not 2023. So it doesn't have a way to kind of connect the dots. All right. And then some of them also. So this is what, okay, so I'm looking at number of employees. Should we do some kind of filtering? What if I filter the company to the top 10 by, I don't want to do the employee variance because that's just going to give me positive numbers. I want to do the top overall variance. So I want to have or maybe I do the top and the bottom. Okay, let's try that. So what I could do here is I think I can create a set. And so let's call it top 10 increase, top 10 by increase. And then I can duplicate that, edit set, and let's now make this bottom 10 or bottom 10 decrease. I'll just make this a bottom. Okay, so now what I should be able to do is, let's call this top or bottom. And I'm going to say that is true or that is true. Okay, so let me just try this and see what happens. So if I put that here, so that's false. So I should have, okay, so that's not working right. Because these are all nulls. Okay, so I need to, I want to filter